Hi, I'm Renee, EU Regional Trainer here at Rare Beauty, and today we're going to show you how to create an autumnal look using neutral and warm tones using all Rare Beauty. So to start this look, we're going to create a little bit of dimension and structure on Emily using our Soft Pinch Liquid Contour. This is in shade Mellow. So to apply our Soft Pinch Liquid Contour, there's a really easy method called Dot, Blend and Done. Our first step of this method is to dot the contour in the areas where we want to create and mimic shadows. So I usually do underneath the jaw, the cheekbone, the forehead, and the bridge of the nose. Then you want to grab your brush of choice. This is our Soft Pinch Blush Brush. I love that it's angled and duro-fibered, so it really helps to melt the product into the skin. And we're going to very gently buff and stipple the contour to create those shadows. And you can just see how effortless it is to blend. Now, when it comes to blending the contour on the cheekbone, we really want to focus that blending up and out to promote more of a lifted effect. We want to avoid bringing and blending that product down because we want to keep this area nice and bright so that cheekbone really has its moment to shine. Finishing off with the jaw. And again, kind of just tapping and buffing that into the way the bone naturally sits. Then when it comes to the nose, I like to rotate our brush, use the tip of the blush brush, and very gently tap and buff it down into the bridge of the nose, and whatever's left taken to the crease of the eye. So again, dotting the contour in the areas where we want to create those shadows. Emily has gorgeous bone structure, so she's making my job very easy. And then tapping it in. You know, really kind of give the product a moment to just melt into the skin. A few taps is all you need. And really allow the product to create that shadow to lift that cheekbone so you get that really gorgeous structured look. And then again, rotating my brush, taking it down the bridge of the nose and into the crease of the eye. So one of my other favorite steps when it comes to creating structure and definition in the face is of course contour, but also the brows. The brows really frame the way our features sit. So Emily again has great brows. We very lightly filled them in with our brow pencil, and now I'm going to set them in place with our Brow Harmony Flexible Lifting Gel. I'm going to very gently buff the product into the front of the brow to lift and define. Then as we get to the arch, I'm going to put a little bit more pressure to really lift those brows to expose her arch. And this is also going to help to further lift the eye. And then just taper the edges for a clean look. Buffing those front brow hairs nice and up to lift, increasing your pressure as you get to the arch, really exposing the way your arch sits, and then begin to taper and soften. To really make this look warm and neutral, we're going to add some warmth with our Warm Wishes bronzing stick. This is in the shade Happy Soul. Now this is a cream to powder finish. It is the most buttery stick ever because it gives you a natural dimension of warmth while still looking like skin, like you've been in front of the sun all day. So I like to buff this along the hairline, really work it into the skin with a firm but light pressure and doing it feature by feature. So starting at the forehead, then a little bit on top of the cheeks, really working it into the contour. So our contour's created that shadow and structure. The bronzer is going to bring in our warmth. And then I always like to take a little bit into the crease of the eye as well. So if you look down for me. Just very lightly buff that into the crease. And repeat on the other side. Now to create our autumn look eye, I'm going to go in with our All Above the Weightless Eyeshadow Stick. This is a really beautiful bronzy brown, which is really going to pack a punch and give you that warmth on the eye. This is in the shade Growth. I'm going to work this in from the root of the lash all the way over the lid. And what I love about these is you don't have to be precise. Really just get that colour on, and then we buff and blend it out. Just using a Space & Cake eyeshadow brush, look down for me. I'm going to very gently buff and diffuse the edge and really kind of buff it out to accentuate that movement. And again, further elongate and structure the eye. And you can build that intensity until you're happy. It's always easier to build than it is to take away. But because these are so creamy, they're almost mistake proof. And then when it comes to bringing the eyeshadow out to the outer side of the eye, I like to release my pressure so it's super, super gentle to get a seamless blend. So there's no harsh edges. And then again, softening my pressure as I get out and really focusing on that up and out movement. So when it comes to placing the eyeshadow stick, I like to take it all over the lid and up to where that brow bone begins. That's usually the way I like to map it. And then I take that brush. First, I like to blend it into the eye to really diffuse that pigment. Make sure that lid is fully covered. And then when it comes to diffusing it up and out, I release that pressure and very gently soften it. Now to add some definition and depth to Emily's lash line, I'm going in with our gel liner in True Brown, and we're going to very gently tight line that upper lash line. I'm going to lift and expose the lashes and take that pencil into that root of the lash and just do it in really small sections because it can be a little bit ticklish for the eye, and just make sure that corner to corner of the eye is covered. You can really see how that intensified Emily's lash line. To open and widen Emily's eyes, we're going to finish off with a touch of mascara to really give that feathery, impactful look. So this is our volumizing universal mascara. It's one of my favorite products for many reasons, because not only does it add volume, but it also looks very weightless on the eye. It has cast oil as well, so it really conditions and hydrates the lashes and prevents the formula from going dry and crumbly. But it also means that you can build and layer that volume until you're satisfied without it looking super unnatural. So you can get that feathery false lash effect. So I'm going to coat every lash, and then I'm going to rotate my brush and kind of encourage that movement slightly outer to lift and elongate. So really work that product in at the root of the lash from corner to corner. And then I like to comb that product all the way to the tip of the lash to make sure every lash is saturated, and then taper it slightly to the side to give more of like a foxy appearance. So to make sure that the bottom lashes have a gentle amount of product, I'm going to work a dry spoolie to just create a little bit of balance. Then to add a little bit of extra drama to the eye, I'm going to take that same eyeshadow stick and pop it on that lower lash line. And really focus on the outer lower corner. And then you can just take your finger and just very gently tap and blend. And then same on the other side. Now that the eyes are complete, let's finish off our base. So to create that beautiful, warm, natural cheek, I'm going to go in with two products. We're going to mix our Soft Pinch Liquid Blush with our Positive Light Luminizing Highlighter together to create a luminous flush of colour in the cheeks. So to do this, we're using shade Worth, followed by our Liquid Luminizer in shade Transcend, really sticking with those beautiful warm tones. And then we're going to mix them together. And you'll see that that highlighter just adds an element of luminosity and depth to the blush. And then picking up our blush brush, I'm going to work that product into my brush. Again, making sure all bristles are distributed with product. And we're going to tap it on the cheeks. So I always like to focus on the tip of the apples to create a bit of fullness, but then focus that blending up and out to further lift. So Worth is just such a gorgeous true rose shade, and then with that beautiful rose gold finish of the Transcend highlighter, it adds an element of warmth and almost like a natural flush for Emily in her complexion. That soft pinch of colour. And you can see I'm always blending in upwards motions. And as I get to the centre of Emily's face, I release that pressure ever so slightly, so that way we have a really nice gradient from the centre into the cheeks. To set it all into place, I'm going in with our True to Myself tinted pressed powder. This is in shade Linen, and I'm only going to use this at the centre of Emily's face to blur and set and just also diffuse that blush ever so slightly. So using our powder puff, I'm pressing and rolling the powder into the skin, which will give Emily a flawless finish while also preserving the longevity of how the makeup will wear. And what's so beautiful about these powders is they are a talc-free formula. So you're going to get the benefit of the powder, but it won't dry out the skin. I like to just press a little bit underneath, which helps to further brighten this area of the face. Use the clean side of the puff to tap and diffuse it out. But it also stops all of those cream products that we use from slipping down, again, preserving the longevity. So here you can see a really beautiful dewy base, but this side just has a bit more control where we want that glow. The makeup's going to really be locked in, and we have a blurred finish at the center. Now to finish and complete this look, let's do the lips. And there's nothing better than an autumnal look than a perfect nude lip. So to begin, I'm going to line Emily's lips with our Kind Word matte lip liner. This is in the shade Wise, and it's just a beautiful cool toned brown. Now these liners are also waterproof, so they really do last all day while remaining comfortable and hydrating at the same time. So starting with Emily's Cupid's bow, and then taking it down to her corners. Now Emily has a great pout and beautiful full lips, so they don't need much overlining at all. Add a little bit of depth and structure in the outer part of the lip. And also in the center of the lip to just really encourage beautiful balanced full pout. You can either take your finger or a small brush and just very lightly blend and buff that pencil in towards the center of the lip to have more of a wash of color. And I'm using the Space NK 304 angled brush to give me better precision and accuracy for a cleaner finish. Then to finish off the lip, we're going to go in with our Positive Light Luminizing Lip Glosses. This is in shade Spark, and I feel like it will just complete this look and really fit into that autumnal vibe that we're going for. So I'm going to really layer this on from the center of the lip. And it's really giving cozy and toasted. Just very lightly pressing that in and bring the product more up towards that Cupid's bow, which will just add a bit more high shine and volume. And there we have an autumnal look using warm and neutral tones using All Rare Beauty.